everybody. Raul, critical care, 22 years. And today I'm going to talk to you about a very important tool that we use as nurses every day, your stethoscope. And I'm going to start by sharing a story. When I first started my nursing career, I decided to become a traveler. I lived in Chicago and I wanted to go out to California, Santa Monica. Nice and sunny, right? So to treat myself, I decided to buy myself a $225 stethoscope. Loved it. It's like a Lamborghini, baby. The sounds were amazing. I loved it, right? Walked into this unit all professional looking with this expensive, turned a lot of heads, all this big time cardiologists worked there, turned a lot of heads and stuff. It was great. Used it for about 3 hours and then I put it down just for a moment. I think you know what happened next. I still haven't heard from him. Anyway, of course it got lifted, right? I turned too many heads. I should have known better. Anyway, so it got lifted. And I knew one thing. I did not know who did it. Don't know if it was a doctor. Don't know if it was a nurse, though we tend to blame the doctors. But, they borrow them and they walk away. But I don't know who it was. Tell you what I do know. I knew I wasn't going to spend $225 for another stethoscope. Not when it walks away out the door that easily. So I went and I just said, I'm just going to buy a regular stethoscope, what I call a regular stethoscope. And you've seen them. Spent $25, $30 on it. And, what can I tell you? The quality, night and day, wasn't so hot. But what happens over time is you get used to it. You get used to the sound. Then one day I was in an isolation patient's room and I used an isolation stethoscope. You've seen them. All the hospitals have them. They come in different colors. They come in yellow for isolation, sometimes black, sometimes blue. This is actually one of them. You can see the small bell, membrane, very cheapy, small tubes for small sound. And don't get me started on the ear tubes. Hard as a rock. I just hate that. Hard as a rock. But I found that the sound was pretty comparable to the $25, $30 stethoscope. So when my stethoscope got lifted again, 22 years, you're going to have several of them lifted. I decided not to buy another one. I just started using the hospital ones because I figured the sound's about the same. I'm only going to lose it again, right? People ask to borrow my stethoscope. Well, a couple of things happen. They don't ask to borrow this as much, A. And B, if they walk away with it, it's all right? Then one day I was in a patient's room and I was really concerned about their breathing, right? And so I asked the respiratory therapist, I said, hey man, let me borrow your ears. So he lent me his stethoscope, nice, one of those nice heavy ones, and I listened to it. Whoa! I was immediately flooded by these amazing sounds of crackles. The sound just came alive in my ears. And though I could hear crackles with these, not as easily. I had to work a little bit more. And this stethoscope was able to pick them up real quickly. And then I realized, the ears are pretty darn important. I should really invest in some decent ears. So, I shopped around because I ain't going to spend another $100+ on my stethoscope. I'm sorry, they still walk away. But I knew quality was important. So let me share what I use now. Okay, this is what I found. This is my stethoscope today by Passionate Care. It's not a name brand that you might have heard of, but that's one of the advantages. Let me share why. Big companies do on branding and promotion, right? And that money that they spend on marketing, it's not necessarily out of their pocket. They just attach it to the product, to the stethoscope. In this case, every company does that. So you're paying for quality and you're paying for marketing. Passionate Care works more on word of mouth, so there isn't that added amount on here, and that's one of the things I like about it. And let me tell you what else I like about it. Obviously, you can see the head, okay? This is what I was using. This is what I use today. Think there's going to be a difference in assessment and sound? Well, hopefully not assessment, right? Because I got a good skills, but definitely a difference in sound and the ease of assessment. It's got the dual head, so you can hear the deep sounds and you can also hear the higher pitch sounds, both heart tones as well as the breath sounds and abdominal sounds and whatever you use your stethoscope for, right? It's got the nice thick tubing so you can hear more sound. And oh yeah, I got the nice silicone soft tips that you find on those high-end, sorry, your tips are important to me, it hurt. One thing that you do have to be aware of anytime you upgrade or you use some of the more expensive ones that are big, they're heavier. It's just the nature, right? The tubing's bigger. Light, not heavy, heavier. The bell's heavier, the tubing's heavier. I love the quality of this one. Price range, what's not to love? Amazon has it. It varies in price. Sometimes you'll find it for $80. Sometimes you'll find it for $60 with a coupon. You can't go wrong for $60, $70 for this stethoscope. The box is amazing. It comes. This is also something that I recommend for nursing students. So let me share why. I did a lot of new grad orientation. I did a lot of even new ICU students. I do a lot of orientation for them. And one of the things that I like to bring home is patient perception. When you first, especially if you're a nursing student and you really lack this confidence, this is very important. When you walk into a room, the patient immediately establishes whether they trust you or not, because you send out vibes. It's the way you stand, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you talk, and the way you interact with them. You're sending them messages. Of course, you're afraid and timid, and your body is screaming that. You walk in as a nursing student with one of these, okay? They see you as a nursing student. You walk in with something like this over your head, for whatever reason, it's patient perception. This screams experience, because this screams serious. And all of a sudden you get trust points right off the bat just because you have a higher quality. And not just because it's this specific brand, but anytime you use a higher end stethoscope, they just take you more seriously. You see two nursing students side by side. One of them has this draped over, one of them has this one draped over. It's not right? Because, they probably have the same skill set, but perception is everything. You're going to build that trust factor. So that's just another reason that you might want to consider upgrading to something that's affordable. Anyway, that's my thought for today. Any comments, questions, feel free to share. Again, God bless you.